Let us come to this topic of first topic in textbook of Park, history and evolution of medicine. Not a very high yield topic, but still let me just give you the whole topic in a very crisp nutshell. First MCQ. Let us talk about Indian medicine. Indian medicine. Indian medicine dates back to some 400 to 600 BC. 400 to 600 BC. We started with the system of Ayurveda. The Ayurveda system is pretty old system. It was the first established healthcare system where scientific healthcare system where we had medicine and we had surgery as separate points, separate specialities. Ayurveda is derived from the word Atharveda. Atharveda, which is basically based on principles of humors. These are three things. We have Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Vata is wind, Pitta is gallbladder or gall fluids, and Kapha is the mucus. So Vata is wind, Pitta is the gall fluid or the yellow bile or the bile, Kapha is the mucus. So it is mucus. It is based on these three humors, mucus. It is based on these three humors. Humors are basically the body fluids, and this was the establishment of Atharveda or Ayurveda. MCQ number 2. Who are the people who are contributed very importantly and prominently in the formation of Ayurveda science that we know of today? Point number 2. We have 4 people which you need to remember. First is Shri. All are Shri and all are Acharyas. Acharya Atreya, Acharya Sushruta, Acharya Charaka, and Acharya Vagbhat. So Acharya Atreya, first MCQ, Acharya Atreya is known as the first Indian physician and a teacher of medicine. Teacher of medicine or art of healing. And those times we did not have medicine, surgery, gynae, PEG, ENT, PSM or anesthesia or things like this. So he was the first Indian physician and a teacher of health and health sciences. Sushruta is known as the father of Indian surgery. He is also known as the father of plastic surgery. He is also known as the father of plastic surgery, and he compiled us, he presented us with 1200 diseases. That is Sushruta Samhita, or a collection of the Sushruta works or the compendium of the Sushruta works. Charaka is known as the father of medicine, father of Indian medicine. He compiled the Charaka Samhita. He compiled the Charaka Samhita. That is the work of Charaka. Vagbhat, Acharya Vagbhat is known as the classical Ayurveda writer. He compiled all the works together and presented to us what we call as Ayurveda today. So he was an author, he was a medical writer, and he compiled all the work of all the people beforehand and presented us with the science of Ayurveda given by Vagbhat. There is also something called as laws which were established by Manu. Manu was a long time back Vedic person, Acharya, and laws of Madhu or the principles of Manu are based on personal hygiene. They are based on personal hygiene. The laws of Manu are based on personal hygiene. Next, in India, I'm not specifically talking of India, but you should also be knowing about this system. That is, one, you have learned about Ayurveda. There was another system that is known as Unani Tibb system. The Unani Tibb. So it was a system which was there in medieval medieval age. This Unani-Tibb system actually is a congregation. It was promoted by the Arabs. It was promoted and maybe compiled by Muslims in Arab. But actually the science, Unani-Tibb science, it dates back to Greek medicine. It is from Greek and Roman medicine. If they ask you one question, mark Greece as the best answer. The Unani-Tibb medicine was promoted, publicized and endorsed and given to India and formulated by the Arab, but the Greek was known to have founded the fundamentals of Unani-Tibb. And Unani actually means, it's an Arabian Persian word. Unani means Greek. So it's a mixture of Greek and Roman medicine. It was there in medieval age, promoted in India. So it was promoted in India by the Arab people. So that is about this Unani-Tibb. So we should not be forgetting the work of Rhazes, also called as Abu Bakr. And Rhazes gave us a book on pediatrics or child diseases. So in those times there was no pediatrics. Abu Bakr wrote the first book on diseases in children. Abu Bakr is also known for his work on pupillary reactions and his work on giving mercury purgatives. Rhazes or Abu Bakr is known to have worked actually on pharmacology. So his lot of work has been appreciated in pharmacology, and he gave us about understanding about pupillary reaction, mercury purgatives and child diseases. Another person that we should be knowing is Avicenna. Avicenna, also in some areas it's called as Ibn Sina. And Avicenna gave us the book called as Canon of Medicine. So Islam had a lot of work done on health and health sciences, and Avicenna is one of the pioneers who gave us the understanding of pharmacology. Although Abu Bakr and Avicenna, they both are known for work on pharmacology. But if they ask you one answer for pharmacology, we have more work done by Ibn Sina compared to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr is known for giving treatments more, and pharmacology was studied by Avicenna. So that's all about the Indian medicine. We have learned about Ayurveda and Unani-Tibb. Let us move to topic number 2. We'll talk of the Chinese medicine. The Chinese art or the Chinese medical art is based on yin and yang. Yin is the feminine aspect and yang is the masculine aspect. So their principle was actually based on the male and the female aspect of health and related diseases. Chinese people are also known to invent and to discover, whatever you want to call it, invent or discover, but the art of acupuncture and acupressure. That there are some special points in the body which may be related to the viscera or the organs or the nerve system. They are also known for, the Chinese medicine is also known for work on hydrotherapy, massage therapy. Again, same answers about the points in the body, and also their famous work on dietetics and nutrition. So that's about the Chinese medicine. They invented the art of acupuncture or the acupressure. The third system that we need to remember is about the Egyptian system. Egyptian medicine was compiled on a papyrus, compiled and recorded on papyrus. So what is papyrus? Papyrus is actually a plant, and the leaves and the stem are used to write. So papyrus is nothing but a notebook from the Egyptian times. The Egyptian medicine was based on the concept of God and healer together. So they gave us the concept of doctor and priest in a combination. So they had this phenomena of doctor and God together. Some famous personalities during the Egyptian medicine time is Imhotep. Imhotep was the first Egyptian physician. There was an Edwin Smith papyrus. Then there is Ebers papyrus. So different Egyptian people had recording their own understanding about health and art of healing. So Edwin Smith papyrus is known for surgery, especially in the head and neck area. Ebers papyrus is known for prescription writing and drugs. Horus was the god of Egyptian medicine. So these are some of the famous people you need to remember about Egypt and Egyptian medicine. Then slowly came the dawn of Mesopotamian medicine. The Mesopotamian system of medicine is Mesopotamian was known as the cradle of civilization, and the wonderful thing about the Mesopotamian medicine is that they gave us the understanding that you should have different specialities for diseases. All diseases are not same. So that's what the Mesopotamian culture actually understood during way back in the BC times. So Mesopotamian medicine is recorded to have medical doctors, surgical doctors, and psychiatrists. They were called as herb doctors. Then they were called as knife doctors. And interestingly, the psychiatrist was called as a spell doctor. You speak, you treat. So that's how people understood. So spell doctors or spell physicians, knife doctor or knife physicians, herb doctor or medical doctors. So basically that's what is internal medicine, and knife doctor is what we surgery, and spell doctors is what we know as psychiatrist or a psychologist today. So this understanding of specialties for disease was given by Mesopotamian medicine. So that could be a small MCQ. Mesopotamian medicine is also known to have studied about different important things about prescription writing, about geomancy, and about prescription writing. Some famous personalities writing. Some famous personalities in Mesopotamian medicine was Code of Hammurabi, which means they gave us the codes, they gave us the rules and regulations for conduct of for code of conduct by doctors towards the patients and ethics. So establishment of ethics, Code of Hammurabi is given to the Mesopotamian medicine. Next is a few MCQs about the famous Greek medicine. Some famous personalities. Greek was one of the oldest civilizations of the world, and Greek was one of the most organized civilization with a lot of intent for medicine and health. So the first thing you need to remember is about Asclepius. So Asclepius was in ancient era, and Asclepius had two daughters named as Hygieia and Panacea. So Hygieia is known as the goddess of health, and Panacea is the goddess of medicine. So there is an important MCQ for you to remember, that goddess of health and goddess of medicine, they both mean the same, but goddess of health actually means preventive medicine. So that means prevention or preventive medicine. Goddess of medicine means a curative health, curative medicine. So curative medicine is promoted by Panacea, and preventive medicine was promoted by goddess of health, that is Hygieia, and both were from Asclepius, and he was a famous physician in Greek ancient history. Second is, you should also be knowing about the most famous personality from Greek medicine, that is Hippocrates. Hippocrates gave us the first organized understanding of medicine. He was also the first true epidemiologist. He is known as the father of medicine. He gave us a book known as Airs, Water and Places. Airs, Waters and Places. So this book contained time, place, person, distribution of disease. That is the reason we call him as the first true epidemiologist, because he had an understanding that disease was not due to because of some old sins or wrath of God or climatic change. It included climatic change, which air you breathe, what water you drink, which place you stay, what people surround you. Everything was given by Hippocrates. The Greek medicine basically is based on, this should be an important MCQ that you should be knowing, that Greek medicine, the whole science of Greek medicine, from which you remember Unanitip, just now we discussed Unanitip also developed. This Greek medicine is based on 4 humor. Ayurveda based on 3 humors. Greek medicine based on 4 humors, that is phlegm, that is mucus, yellow bile and a black bile. Yellow bile and a black bile and a red bile, or we don't call it as a bile, red blood. So yellow bile, black bile and blood. Phlegm is nothing but the mucus. Yellow bile is nothing but the gall juices. Black bile is nothing but the intestinal matter or the fecal matter. And blood is nothing but the blood, that is blood. So it is based on 4 humors. Remember, Greek medicine is based on 4 humor, Ayurveda based on 3 humor. And Greek medicine is the foundation of Unanitip. Ayurveda was given by Atreya, Charaka, Sushruta and Vagbhat. Last but not the least, we also need to study about the Roman medicine. Roman medicine. The Roman medicine were the first people who gave us the understanding about public health policies and public health sanitation. So health policy, that is the health of an individual is not the main focus of an individual. It is the focus of the governing body or the state or the government. So the health policy is not individual. It is how you look at your population under you. So health policies, sanitation and public health is all given by Roman culture. Under the Roman culture, Roman medical culture, you need to remember one person, that is Galen. Galen was known as a medical dictator. Medical dictator. He gave us a lot of work on anatomy and physiology. Although Galen's work was later on proved to be not correct or partially incorrect, but during those times, Galen was a Roman person and he was known as medical dictator. That means whatever he said should be happening, and he gave us the understanding about anatomy, physiology in human body. So with that, we have covered almost everything about the Indian culture, the Roman culture, the Greek culture, the Arab culture, and the Mesopotamian culture. And now we are moving to the next topic, that is we are going to learn about the scientific medicine or a modern medicine. So few questions which you need to know about modern medicine. Modern or a scientific medicine. So what I have done is I have compiled all the important things for you at a single page. So MCQ number 1. What was the famous work given by these personalities? First is Fracastorius. Fracastorius. Fracastorius is known as the founder of epidemiology. Fracastorius is known as the founder of epidemiology. He gave us the theory of contagion. Please remember, father epidemiology, John Snow. Father of public health is a disease, that is cholera. Founder of epidemiology is Fracastorius. The next we need to talk about is Andreas Vesalius. He is known as the first man of modern medicine. He is also known as the father of modern anatomy, and he gave us the first book on scientific medicine. This first book on scientific medicine is called as Fabrica. So remember, Andreas Vesalius was the father of modern anatomy. He did a lot of work on anatomy, and that's the reason he is known as the first man of modern medicine. Third is, you should be knowing about Ambrose Paré. His work on father of modern surgery is Ambrose Paré. Next is couple of confusing questions that you very often get. So please remember that sanitary awakening in 1832 was initiated by Edwin Chadwick. Why do I put this under the confusing MCQs? Is many times students get confused that Edwin Chadwick work on cholera, or John Snow work on cholera, or William Budd work on cholera. Please remember, Edwin Chadwick did work on cholera. There was a great cholera epidemic in 1832. Great cholera epidemic in 1832, and Edwin Chadwick studied that cholera epidemic, and he promoted that there should be safe water supply, improved sanitation facilities in UK and England. So subsequently in 1848, for the first time, there was Public Health Act established in UK. So UK was the first country where Public Health Act was established. So everything could be an MCQ. First Public Health Act established in UK, and Edwin Chadwick studied the cholera epidemic in 1832 and therefore established that sanitation should be promoted. But please remember that the father of epidemiology is Dr. John Snow. The father of public health is cholera. Father of public health is cholera. Father of epidemiology is John Snow, and founder we already have discussed. Founder of epidemiology we already have discussed is Fracastorius. So let us now solve some confusions about cholera and about MCQs on cholera. So cholera, the history in cholera. Cholera in 1832 was studied by Edwin Chadwick, and who started the Great Sanitary Awakening. In 1848, we had a study by John Snow. Also, in somewhere in 1852 to 56, we had study done by William Budd. But mainly William Budd's work is not on cholera, although he studied cholera and typhoid both. But William Budd is known for work on typhoid, and to understand that fecal matter may be causative in typhoid was shown by William Budd. So this is many times confusing. So William Budd, if they ask you one answer, mark typhoid. Otherwise William Budd studied cholera also and studied typhoid also, but if they ask you one answer, please mark typhoid as the best answer for William Budd. right? So these are some of the confusion MCQs sometimes you get. Sometimes they also ask you who was the first public health people. So the first medical officer of health in the world, first MOH is medical officer of health in UK was John Simon. But the first public health in US was promoted by Lemuel Shattuck. By Lemuel Shattuck. So first MOH or medical officer of health is John Simon, and public health in US was Lemuel Shattuck. Some more fathers in medicine, we already may have talked it, so I'm just giving you a list, comprehensive list of all the fathers. Father of modern medicine. Father of modern medicine or god of medicine is Hippocrates. Father of epidemiology, we already have done John Snow. Father of bacteriology, we already discussed in images also. Father of bacteriology, we discussed in image-based sessions. That is, father of epidemiology is Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. Father of immunology is Edward Jenner. Father of immunology is Edward Jenner. Father of Indian medicine, Charaka. Father of Indian surgery, Sushruta. Father of anatomy, Vesalius, Andreas Vesalius. Modern anatomy is Andreas Vesalius. Right? The first antibiotic was discovered by Alexander Fleming, and it was an accidental discovery. The antibiotic which was discovered was penicillin. The growth charts were invented, we shouldn't say discovered, they were made by David Moodley. And the growth charts, they are made between David Moodley, and the growth charts are made between weight for age. The blood groups were identified by Karl Landsteiner. So these are some of your important fathers of areas who have done pioneering work. Some of the countries which have pioneered in public health. So compulsory, some of the countries which have pioneered in public health. For the first time, the compulsory sickness insurance was promoted by Germany. India is known to have the largest and the biggest till date national family planning program. I hope you understand why we did this national family planning, because of the population family planning program was promoted by India. India is also known to have the national blindness. The first blindness control program was launched in India. UK is known to have the best or the first pioneers in healthcare system of UK and public health in UK is the pioneering for those things. The first socialized medicine, this should also be known that the first socialized medicine was promoted by which country? By Russia. So this has been your couple of times. This was one of the favorite question of the examiners. They asked so many times that the first country to promote socialized medicine is Russia. Other pioneering work or scientist and of importance till date is Louis Pasteur for work on vaccines, and germ theory of disease. Patenkoffer, von Patenkoffer is known for multifactorial causation of disease. Multifactorial causation of disease. Then is McMahon for web of causation for disease. Some landmark historical studies was done by James Lind on scurvy and vitamin C. Next is Robert Koch. Robert Koch studied TB bacilli, anthrax bacilli, and he also identified cholera organism, Vibrio cholerae, and gave us the Koch's postulates in microbiology. Bruce, on the other hand, studied African sleeping sickness, and the work on tsetse fly. That tsetse fly is the causative organism. Edward Jenner for his work on vaccination. Which vaccine? Smallpox vaccine. Historical importance. Dr. Walter Reed did work on finding the causative vector for yellow fever and Aedes. So the Aedes as a vector for yellow fever was discovered by Walter Reed. Similarly, Ronald Ross gave us the malaria life cycle. So these are a couple of your important things which you need to know in your first chapter on history of and evolution of medicine. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, please subscribe my channels.